my wife likes to go out for walks, and for some reason she likes to use the iPod Nano for music. So I have three iPod Nanos: an iPod Nano 2, which looks like this, an iPod Nano 5, which looks like this, and an iPod Nano 7. The iPod Nano 2 comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and it has the click wheel, which is nice, but it's not very functional. The later iPads added a lot of features which are nice. The 5 is nice in that it has a speaker. The speaker's not very good, but it's nice in a pinch. But you can also use it as a video camera, and you can play videos on it, which is pretty nice. And the Nano 7 is probably the nicest. It doesn't have a speaker, but it has Bluetooth, so you can use wireless headsets. And it has a touch screen instead of a click wheel. And I like this one, and I bought this thing and I was using it for a while, and then my wife said she wanted it, so I gave it to her. So she used it for many years, and the battery wore down. So it holds a charge for probably 15 minutes to an hour, depending on how finicky it is. So she was kind of complaining about that. So I took the Nano 5 out that I have, and I charged it up fully. And it is similar to the iPod Nano 7 in that it'll charge like up to here. Maybe the battery indicator will go to about maybe 70 to 80%. And then you use it for a while, and then the battery drops sharply. This only charges to like 70 or 80% as well. I have tested it using it for half an hour, and it seems fine for half an hour. But the battery drops probably to about 60% in half an hour. The battery life on these when they're new ranges from about 24 to 30 hours when used with a wired headset. But I like to use this thing with Bluetooth, and Bluetooth seems to drain the battery pretty fast, which makes sense because it has to run a radio instead of just electrical signals. Oh, one other nice thing about this is you can use it as an FM radio, although I don't know if there's any interest in doing that. So I charged this thing up to about 80%, and I played it for an hour, and the battery life stayed about the same. So she charged it up to full, and on the iPod Nano 2, the battery will go up to full. And she tried it for an hour, and the battery was still like completely full. So I suspect that the oldest iPod Nano, the Nano 2 that we have, also has the best battery. So she's using this for music. Her Mac is running probably, I don't know, probably, it might even be running Mojave. She has a 2018 Mac Mini. And I don't know what she's running on it. It might be Mojave or Big Sur or something, but it hasn't been updated in a while. But it's an older version of Mac OS, so it still has iTunes. So her music and her other stuff, I set it up in iTunes, and it's nice because I could just sync it with these iPods and her iPhone, and I don't have to do anything else. It just, erases these things and puts just her stuff on it, and it just takes like maybe 5 to 10 minutes to do. So I'm kind of often surprised at how much these things still cost. If you go to Amazon, this thing ranges from $200 to $300. which I think it was at certainly $300 is more than this thing costs new. These I've seen these on Craigslist for about $40, and these things cost more because they have more functionality and they're newer. I did call a local shop, an Apple shop, or well, they do Macs, the place that replaced the battery on one of our 2014 MacBook Pros, and they quoted me a price of $85 to replace the battery on the iPod Nano. I also looked at a few YouTube videos on replacing the battery, and it looks like it's pretty challenging, and that there's the potential to also break the device. There are plenty of music players that run for about $20 to $30. They're obviously not Apple products, but for now, I suspect we can just use the iPod Nano 2. The battery will probably be good for maybe 3 or 4 years if used daily. And it's just kind of a way to listen. If you use wired headsets and you want a really small device and you don't want to carry your phone, or you don't have a watch that plays music, it is a way to go. Oh, one other thing is, in looking at the replacing the battery videos, most of the iPod Nano is battery. They have these long, flat, rectangular batteries, and 24 to 30 hours is pretty good battery life. So, just a little video on nostalgic Apple devices.